if it hasn't happened, it will happen. You get your game loaded up and things just don't seem right. Oh, our VIP has run out. We'll have to refresh that. So let's take a look. What's going on there? Wait a minute. Why is I had 4 marches out, didn't I? Oh, where are my troops? You, my friend, have been zeroed. Stand by. Shut the door, I'm not eating the whole damn neighborhood. Hey everybody, welcome back to Old Man Gamer Network. Today, we have been zeroed. Now what the heck do we do? So when you log on, usually the first thing that you're going to see is stuff looks kind of out of the ordinary. You've got this kind of glowy thing going on at your trap factory. You have the same kind of glowy thing going on here at the shrine. You have troops that are in the hospital that are going to need to be healed. And look, we have no troops. Well, we have 1 troop. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to check our mail. And yeah, so if someone is going to hit you, if they're doing it correctly, the first thing that they're going to do is they are going to scout your city. They are going to see what defenses you have. They're going to see what your wall general is. They're going to kind of have an idea of what was going on. And then if they think they can get you, and in this case, this level 35 was pretty sure that they could get me, they attack. All your troops were annihilated. On top of that, they took all your stuff. They took all your lunch money. We'll just quickly gloss through this. What often happens is you forgot to put a bubble on, or you were doing something and your bubble was down. You could have been attacking somebody and you didn't have any of your troops ghosted. You were just next to somebody, and while you were attacking, they attacked you. In this case, the bubble was down, and there were no troops out, and there were no troops gathering. Everyone was at home, and this big 3.9 billion power player came up and basically killed everyone that we had. We had a total of 774,000 troops. 261,000 of those went to the hospital. Another 40,000 of those went to the temple and were considered deserters, and the rest were killed, gone forever. This general was captured. This is not really going to be a how do you read a battle report, but you can see there's a little bit of a discrepancy between our troop bonuses. This is our ground troop attack bonus. Graybeard's is a little higher. Graybeard's the top level player on this server. You can see there's just a little bit of discrepancies in what is going on. And if we can scroll down here into the battle detail, that's his attacking stuff. But let's go down and look at wow, lots of layers. If you don't know about layers, we'll have to talk about that. So it looks like he only had one subordinates. No, here they are. Korea, Korea. So what do those Korean subsidies tell us? They tell us that he is really focused on gathering for the gathering bonus. Now, the defender, let's see, she was captured. Let's go to our sub-cities. You see lots of numbers here in the dead. Sub-city, dead. Sub-city, dead general. Sub-city, dead general. He survived. We only have 4 sub-cities. So that is our kind of bad day. And what you're going to see is if you have a general that was captured or executed, you will see that here. You're also going to see, because you got your butt kicked so bad, they're going to give you some extra stuff. It's not going to get you back. It's not going to get you back to where you were, but it's gonna help a little bit. Let's go ahead and claim that, and then later on we got the news that our captured wall general was later released. Now, let me say this in all fairness. I'm totally at fault for this because my bubble dropped during this. So it's actually going to work out, because now we can talk about, if this happens to you, what in the heck do you do? Okay, we read that. Okay, my alliance folks are doing stuff. So if you don't know, we'll briefly go over this. When your troops are attacked, the first place that those attacked troops are going to go, they're going to go to your hospital. Now, this will tell you I have like 186.6 thousand capacity in my hospital. So that first number of troops is going to go here. Now, if I have more wounded than that, the next place they're going to go is up here to the Holy Palace. And as we can see, I go to Holy Palace, and it's going to tell me that I have 40,000 deserters, and that is my capacity. So my hospital capacity and my holy palace capacity added together during an attack, that's what you get. Everything else is going to become the dead. So if we go down here to our rally spot and we click on troop details, this is what we have for troops right now. I got one guy, and that's because I made him, because I was making temple runs yesterday. When you get attacked, lots and lots of stuff comes to a grinding halt. Because you don't have any troops to do anything. So what do we got? We got one guy, and that's all that we have. We have if we go over here to our trap factory, siege machine repair, it's going to tell us that I have got a metric crap ton of siege that needs to be repaired. Now, one of the reasons that I train a bunch of tier 1 siege is because they are relatively cheap to replace. So if I was going to heal, I would take these out of the equation. But so if you're going to spend gems, if you're gonna repair your siege machines, it's gonna cost you gems. And right now that bill is 6,100 gems, which we technically have. Do we want to spend all of that on that? I don't know. We're going to have to think about that. Now, when I first saw this yesterday, I just kind of went into muscle memory mode, and the first thing that I did was I came to the shrine and I clicked save, and I saved. I revived two of my generals. Shajar al-Dur, who is a horrible wall general, by the way. But again, most people, when they're going to get zeroed, they're not expecting it. I can't put a number on it. I don't know that anybody can put a number on it. I would say the majority of instances where you get zeroed like this, you're not expecting it. You were probably set up to gather. You probably didn't think that this is a KE event or an SVS event, and if your bubble goes down, you're going to get pounded. Now, again, if the attacker is, a couple, 3 levels above you, they're just going to decimate you anyways. But so, if you know something's coming up, you should probably take your gathering general off, or your production general off, and at least put a fighting general on. But again, you're probably not expecting this to happen. So that general got released. I've got one general that I'm going to click the revive button on. I do have a revival stone, but I'll be honest with you right now, I don't know that this is going to be a huge deal. It's only going to be till tomorrow. The first thing that I did was I put a bubble on. I put a 3-day bubble on to protect what little stuff that I had left, because we're going to start healing and recalling troops, and that would not be a very smart thing to do that without having a bubble on. So if we go up here under city buff, we can check I've still got just shy of 2 days left on my bubble. I have my production boosts on because all of my farms out in front of the castle are still on and they are still functioning, and we are going to need resources in order to recover from this. I don't have a gathering boost on because I almost always have all 5 of those boosts on and ready to go. I don't have that one on because right now I don't have anybody to gather. So if we go to the hospital, we can now see, what do I have? I've got I've got a whole bunch of troops that are in the hospital, and if I put everything up, I'm going to need 16 million food, 44 million ore, 16, almost 17 million lumpers, and just shy of 1 million. Well, I just need these 2. And just shy of 1 million stone to repair these. Now you'll notice that these are my top level troops. Your top level troops get preferential treatment. They're the ones that go to the hospital first. So what has happened is all of our lower levels have been cleared out. They're just gone. So we're looking at 25 days of healing in order to make that happen. So even if we click the button to heal, we're not going to have those troops for 25 days. Something else we need to look at is we'll look at our Holy Palace, and if we click on this, we can see that we have 40,000 deserters, and we have all the horns that we need to recall all of those, and that's going to instantaneously happen. The other thing that we need to look at is our wall. Now, depending on when you find this, you may be on fire. You may, when you log on, you may come up to this screen, and this may be just a burning, smoking hole right there. So if that is the case, then you can go into your city, and you will have the option on your walls to hit repair. Now, for us, I have an upgrade going on. My walls were being upgraded when I was attacked. And one of the bonuses that you get is when this upgrade finishes, it repairs all the damage to your wall. So I'm not going to do anything. The other thing you might find is sometimes your archer towers will be on fire. So that's just something to keep in mind while you're trying to figure out what your plan of recovery is going to be. So the first thing that at least what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to keep the things normal that I can get going. I can go into my sub-cities, and if they have made anything, then I can we can collect that. Now, I have a sub-city where the mayor has been killed, so this sub-city is not able to do anything. If we needed it for a battle or something, we couldn't do anything with it. So we are just going to temporarily assign some rube, just for fun. What is this? Okay, that's a battle type sub commander, so we'll put him in there. So now I've at least got mayors in all of my generals. So now I've got mayors in all of my sub cities. So I will set that in motion. I'm going to, as I would normally do, I'm going to collect my resources. I'm going to look at my builder. So I've got another open spot, and I am in the process of continually upgrading my. Oh, you know what? Here's a good point. Now notice what we're at. VIP 10. I don't have my 19 free minutes of construction. I don't have my resource production boost. I don't have my march size increase. All of this stuff I think is something that we would need. So let's go here to our VIP time, and we're just going to use a couple of these because we're not going to be here terribly long. So now let's go. Let's make sure we have our construction boost on, and let's get our farm upgrading. This is not your what we're normally going. This is our normal everyday type of stuff. So we want to try to get that stuff going. Let's go ahead and collect our levy. We've already talked about how we've got our resource boosts and such going. So now we've got to get back into the business of doing stuff. So let's get at least some troops going. We're going to go ahead and hit the recall button, and we have recalled our deserters. We have our general reviving. If we go here to the hospital, there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. If you are in a bigger alliance and you can call in the troops, as it were, for, if you're in an alliance that's got 100 people in it, and those people are, let's say it's a weekend, and those people are all pretty active, then it would be pretty easy to, get them to do some helpful, assisting at the embassy. We're a small alliance. We are not very active. So my strategy is, wow. Okay, well, yes. I'm confused. Okay, so if you know what's going on here, I'd appreciate that doesn't unlock until 25, so that doesn't do us any good. So I recalled these troops and I don't have them. All I've got is traps and my one guy. So that'll be an interesting call. So if you know what's going on, help a brother out here. So while the attack happened, this was still going on. So I can now get these troops and I can start rebuilding what at one point was, oops, I didn't have my training thing on, so now that's going to take longer. So if you have saved up any kind of speed ups, there we go. Well, no, that's just the stuff that we just did. All right, so what we've got to work with now is we've got a pittance of these guys, and I've got 1,000 catapults to work with. So what I can do is we can start leaning on our speed ups if that's what we want to do. So if I go up here to hospital and I hit heal, let's say if I want all of my, well, that's going to be the big number there. If I want these guys back, then that's a 12-hour healing, but let's make sure that we put our healing crown on, and we have a duty officer in our hospital, so we're going to get capacity in, and we actually held 10% more than we should have been able to. So let's start building these back a little bit at a time. So I can heal this. I can put out the call to my alliance to help me out for, however many minutes it is at a time. We're going to speed this up. Yeah, and I am like the frugal guy when it comes to these. I will take the extra time to squeeze as much out of that as I can. Or if I wanted to, I could just heal all of this up at one time if I had that much stuff. And is the bigger bang for my buck going to be healing these troops? I think the answer is yes. Just because that is where I get my rallies from. So let's see. Do I have 18 days worth of healing? Do I have that many? I'm pretty sure I do. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, so we have a little something to work with now. We're back to 182,000 troops. It's not a monumental amount, but what this allows me to do, especially with this tier, these tier 9 cav troops, this allows me to start sending out one full march of for boss killing. And boss killing gives us speed ups, which we just used a whole bunch of for healing. We can also use our training speed ups to start building our troops again, especially our catapults. Something you may want to think about. If you can limp along until the next power increase or troop building increase day to build your troops up then, because with the troops that I have, is it really going to be crucial for me to get a second march? Because it wouldn't be 9s, it would be 8s. It would be another full march. So see, now I'm 108,000 of these guys away from a full 2nd March. Is that going to be absolutely crucial for us between now and the next 4 days? I don't really think so. So I think what I'm going to do, and this is where you have to have that long-term thinking where that comes into play, is it going to be better for me to wait a few days because I have to heal or train new troops, and if I can wait 3 or 4 days and get a bonus out of it, then that might help. And you have to check and see what your current events that are going on are right now. So, oh look, healing speed ups. Now I get the first level of that, so I can claim all of those. Because right now I got gems, common speed ups, construction speed ups, and healing speed ups. Now, if I wanted to go in and heal all of my all of my siege engines, I would get credit for that. So that might make me hold off and start just, kind of piecemealing that out. If they had survived, let's go to siege machine repair. These are the ones I'm going to heal. I would heal, potentially. So, because right now, we're not doing a lot of attacking. The only thing that we use our siege engines for right now is for gathering. So what might end up doing is just recalling these, taking the gem hit on this to get these catapults back so that we can now get out and start gathering, because we're going to have to be, a gathering machine in order to feed all of those troops that we're now going to have to start building. So that's kind of the way, you look at things is, and we're going to cover this in another episode. This is not the type of thing that happens that makes you quit. Okay, there are reasons, valid reasons to quit this game. But if you are in the game and you enjoy the game and you understand the game and something like this happens, it's like a learning experience. What could I have done differently? It may be totally out of your control, because remember, if you ever get the opportunity to make the choice between being a better human being and being a better gamer, you should always pick being a better human being. Now, life comes up and, inserts itself into our plans quite frequently. People have babies, we have families, kids do stuff, spouses do stuff, siblings and parents do stuff. And quite often we have to react to that. And if that's the case, then yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do the better human thing. You may have to set this off to the side, and sometimes this is the consequence, is you don't have time to come in and change your bubble or check up on it. Internet goes out sometimes. Vacations happen. You can prepare for some of this stuff. Some of this stuff you can't prepare for. Is that a reason to quit the game? You kind of gotta put it in perspective. Is this game the most important thing in your life? Probably shouldn't be. That's a judgment call on my part, but we're all big boys and girls here. You can make up your own mind. You can set your own priorities. But if you're in a war game and you get pounded, that's not a reason to quit. But you kind of have to think a little bit about how you want to prioritize things and how you want to recover. So now, if we let's go to the other screen now, and if we look at what's going on, our alliance. I'm pretty sure I missed that one. Yeah, I missed that one. So I am now going to be more dependent on my alliance members than I was before, because I was to the point where I was able to lead, 2 decent sized rallies for a little guy like me, to help everybody out, because I try to rally almost everything that I can. And the reason that I do that is because it gives my alliance members a chance to tag along. What is that? 450, 348. Okay, that's a different manticore, so we can go ahead and we can attack this one. Yes, yes. Something that we're going to have to do is we are going to have to, so see, I've got a full march for what I am right now. So what are we at? Yeah, we're at 3.5 mil to his 2.2, easy. That'll be a no loss type of thing. But now I would progress faster if I did it all myself, if I didn't rally it, because I wouldn't have that 5-minute pause waiting for everyone to catch up. But that only serves me for the most part. And I try to be a team player. So I know that there are people who will more than likely join this rally with me, and they're going to send 1 + 1, and they're going to get a free ride. If they lose a troop, it's 1 troop. It's no big deal. No fashmal. So that's the kind of mentality. Some places, if somebody gets popped like this really bad, like I got like 3 different messages, and they all said the same thing. What do you need? What can I send you to help out? And I'm okay right now, because I am, I'm in a building mode. For quite a while, for up to maybe 25, 27, 28, maybe even 30, will be in a major building mode, which means I am trying to do a balance between gathering resources and running rallies for the XP, as well as the drops, the speed up drops, to kind of move things along. So and build troops. So I'm not in this. This doesn't happen all the time. When you're in PvP mode, you're getting wounded multiple times a day, and the bills get to be very big. But I'm not there yet. So I've told my people, I'm good for right now. Now, some other things, you kind of have to look for the silver lining. There are going to be instances like here, the Heart of Healing. So we're going to get some rewards out of that. We're going to get a bunch of chips, and we're going to get some training speed ups out of that, which we're going to need. So you kind of have to look for those silver linings to come along, where they can. So it's not it's not the best day when that happens, when you just realize, holy buckets, I've just been zeroed. And in my case, I was truly zeroed. I had no troops, and I lost 400,000 troops. Now, there is a school of thought, and you will have to decide whether you think it is a valid school of thought for you or not. And it's tough to do. But I mean, a lot of the stuff that we're doing is tough to do, especially if you're a free-to-play guy. The school of thought is that your hospital capacity combined with your Holy Palace capacity should not should not be less than the number of troops that you have. Now you can increase this if you go up here in research and you go over to medical aid, hospital scale, that will boost, how much you've got. There's, some more areas down here that will, make things go faster or, turn people, from dead into wounded. But if you can increase your hospital capacity, then the thought on that is that if you do get attacked, then you have enough capacity between your trap factory, because trap factory could hold 89,000, and then the combined with these two buildings, the theory is that if you get attacked, you have enough capacity to hold all that. So you're just healing, recalling, and repairing things, and you're not actually having to lose troops and rebuild troops. Because the only thing more irritating than building something once is building it twice. I choose not to do that. I understand the concept. I totally understand the concept. It's just not something that I choose to do. I don't know a lot of people that actually follow that, but it's sound logic. So when you realize you're zeroed, again, what are the quick things that you have to do? You have to make sure to put the fire out on your castle wall, because that will quickly reduce your walls down to next to nothing. You start the process in reviving generals. You can either use just the revival, and then there's a countdown timer, and the higher level your general is, the more time it's going to take. Early on, it might take 2 hours to revive your general. Right now, this one is at 20. You can also use a revival stone. I think those are 1,000 gems. But you'll pick some up, here and there. Then you need to make the decision. If you recall these troops, I'm still interested in what was going on there. So if somebody knows the answer to that, throw it in the comments down beneath the sermon notes. That'd be kind of nice to know. Looks like I've got let's grab this real quick. Oh, I missed it already. Golly. I'm slow. So then you have to start repairing the troops, the siege engines that you have, healing the troops that you have, recalling the troops that you have, and then you have to start replacing them. And you might not replace all the ones that you lost. You may have been really, bottom heavy as far as troops, and not really been able to, you're having to feed those troops. And now that you don't have a lot of those troops in, might be a little bit less of a burden. You might get the chance. You might decide to pick, a different tier of troop. I might be to the point where I try to come up with 2 full marches of these guys. But the problem with that is I still can't, if I take another hit like that, I can't replace all of them. And we just saw how not fun that was. So lots of stuff to think about, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. This is not a one and done situation. Probably the most important thing to remember about this is no one can hit you if you have a bubble on. If I had my bubble up, my level 35 player wouldn't have hit me, and I wouldn't be in this spot. So, if you log on and all your stuff is gone, there's probably a pretty good reason for it, and I'm going to guess it had to do with the fact that your bubble management was off, just like mine was. So it's not an excuse, it's just kind of the reality. 3-day bubbles, relatively speaking, are a lot cheaper than trying to heal all of these troops. So that's what I got for you. We're going to rebuild again, and we'll learn from it, and I hope you've learned something from it. I hope that you learn from this. We have other YouTube channels, and the saying at some of those YouTube channels is screwing stuff up so that you don't have to. So if by listening to this you come to the realization, you know what, I didn't think I could afford, a bubble, but when I look at this, maybe I can, because it's a lot cheaper to build stuff once and hang on to it than to have to keep rebuilding it over and over and over again. Anyways, I'm Combat Carl. We got zeroed, and we're going to come back. And I hope you guys will do the same. Be resilient. Just keep coming back bigger and better than ever. This is the Old Man Gamer Network. You guys have a great weekend. Cheers. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us today. Be sure and tap that thumbs up button if you think we've earned it. And be sure to hit the subscribe button and that little bell to be notified when new content comes out. Be sure to check out these other videos. And I'm Combat Carl for Old Man Gamer Network. You guys be sure to go straight home. No screwing around.